All right, as a preliminary matter, this is Rima Sherry. I am the Assistant Chair of the Affordable Housing Trust. Permit me to confirm that all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Tom Dixon.
Here.
Meg Browers.
Here.
Penny Dye.
Here.
Okay, and I am here. Staff, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Alice Ramos.
Here.
Christy Ferrantella.
Here.
And Vicky Marsh.
Here.
Okay, anticipated speakers on the agenda. We have Joe Grouse.
Here.
And Jerry Keneally.
Here.
And then we have, says Joseph Marino for the Richmond group.
Yes, Madam Chair, we're here, Dave Arminetti, Andrew Bjork, and Catherine Flasso. Good afternoon.
Great, thank you. All right, good morning. No, it's not morning, it's afternoon. This open meeting of the Nantucket Affordable Housing Trust is being conducted remotely pursuant to Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will feature public comment. For this meeting, the Affordable Housing Trust is convening by video conference via Zoom app as posted on the town's website, identifying how the public may join. Okay. This open meeting, yes, we have all that. Why do I have it 2 pages? Please note that this meeting is being recorded and that all attendees are participating by video conference. Accordingly, please be aware that other folks may be able to see you and take care not to screen share your computer. Anything that you broadcast may be captured by the recording. All supporting materials that have been provided members of this body are available on the town's website, unless otherwise noted. The public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda unless I note otherwise. The ground rules. We are now turning to the first item on the agenda. Before we do so, permit me to cover some ground rules for effective and clear conduct of our business and to ensure accurate meeting minutes. I will introduce each speaker on the agenda. After they conclude their remarks, the chair will go down the line of members, inviting each by name to provide any comments, questions, or motions. Please hold until your name is called. Further, please remember to mute your phone or computer when you're not speaking. Please remember to speak clearly and in a way that helps generate accurate minutes. For any response, please wait until the chair yields the floor to you and state your name before speaking. If members wish to engage in a conversation with other members, please do so through the chair, taking care to identify yourself. All right, and for items with public comment, after members have spoken, the chair will afford public comment to those members of the public that have joined the meeting via Zoom. Members of the public who wish to speak must state their name and be acknowledged by and speak through the chair. Finally, each vote taken in this meeting will be conducted by roll call vote. So, we've called to order. The second item is approval of the agenda. There is one change to the agenda. We would like to move item 7, which is the Richmond proposal, to after executive session. So we would adjourn to executive session and then reconvene to this meeting space afterwards to address item 7. So that's the change to the agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
So moved.
Okay, was that Meg?
Yeah.
Okay, great. And a second?
I'll second it, but could I ask why we're doing that, please?
Oh, we're doing that because there is part of what we need to discuss is going to be in executive session, and it pertains to another matter with Richmond that is connected to this matter. So,
Thank you.
okay. All right. And a roll call vote on the agenda. Tom Dixon,
Aye.
Meg Browers,
Aye.
Penny Dye,
Aye.
and I'm an aye. Okay, I'm gonna share it tonight.
Chantal Blois Murphy is also an aye.
Oh, good, Sean. Nice to see you, hear you. I don't even see you. Where are you? Oh. No, okay. Oh, there you are. Great. All right, public comment, item 3. Are there any members of the public that wish to speak? All right. Seeing none, we will move on to item 4, which is the Affordable Housing Trust Fund funding sources and remaining funds review. There was a spreadsheet distributed earlier, and hope everyone's had a time to see it. And I'm going to turn this over to Christy.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So I've been working diligently with Brian Turbot and his department to work through kind of where we stand in this moment with our funding. I know that with the proposals that have been in front of us from Habitat and others, there's been a question from the trust as to, where we stand and what's left in remaining funds. So Brian is still kind of working on a very detailed spreadsheet as to kind of which buckets, as we say, which buckets, so which funds have come from CPC versus overrides versus bonding. And that information is forthcoming, but we were able to kind of give you a more macro look at how much total funds have been appropriated to the Affordable Housing Trust, where we have expensed those funds in terms of land or accelerations of development, and then where we've kind of been holding a placeholder internally for different projects going on. So does everybody have it up on their screen, or do you need me to share my screen?
It might be a good idea to do a screenshot share if public doesn't have it. It's going to be little.
Okay, now can everybody see the screen?
I can, yeah.
Okay. So at the top of this spreadsheet, it's running through all the different annual town meeting articles that have appropriated funds to the trust. And then the second column is where we have spent funds on different land acquisitions and construction. And then lastly, in this third column is where we've proposed expenditures. So, we've been talking about the $4 million to Habitat. There's been discussions around Tacoma Green. The select board has discussed a $6.5 million kind of gap financing, and also an additional $1 million to fund the development of basements of that project. We currently have a proposal from Richmond for 3.1, and then we have current kind of reserves for shy maintenance and land acquisition for the future.
Great. Okay. My one question was on the 31 Fairgrounds construction. Was that a loan? Does anyone remember? Maybe Penny would remember.
Yeah, I can answer that. It's a combination of grants and very long-term loan with a very low interest rate, 50-year amortization.
Okay. I just think that should be noted because it's nice to know on the sheet what we're going to get some money back from and what is just purely a grant.
Agreed.
Okay.
Okay. Are there any questions so far on any of this from board members? Penny.
I just have a comment, if I might.
Sure.
Okay. My comment is that the first significant funding by the town, significant, I mean project related, not just operational, was in 2019, which was the year prior to the pandemic. And at that 20,000 that was on the ATM, yeah, Article 37, the bonding authority. And I think it's important to remember that that was not that long ago. And I'm just throwing that out as a sort of contextual comment. Thank you.
Thank you, Penny. And Meg?
Thank you, Rima. Thank you so much for this document. It's extremely helpful. I really appreciate the time and energy put into it. So Christy and everyone, thank you very much. And I just wanted to follow up. That was a really good question from Rima about the loan. Is any of the rest of this anything other than grants and payouts that we will not see back in any way through Rima to Christy?
So I'd have to go back through, unless Vicky remembers, the Wildflower and Violet Place, as if that was a combination of grant and loans, but I do know that the Six Fairgrounds financing, that would be a loan, and the Richmond Sandpiper too is a loan.
Great, thank you. All right, any more questions or comments from board members? And since I can't see everyone, just shout out. Okay. Well, I'm really pleased with this. We have a question from the public from Jason Graziday. Go ahead,
Yeah.
great.
Hi, everyone. Thank you. I was just hoping to get a copy of that document. If someone from Christy or someone from the trust could send it to me, I'd appreciate it.
Yes, I'll get that over to you.
Thank you.
Great. All right, well, this is probably going to be a fluid document going forward. But it's wonderful to have it all laid out, and eventually we'll have the buckets figured with Brian Turbott's help. All right, so I think we're ready to move on to item 5, the habitat request. So I would recognize Jerry, would you like to do a quick?
Sure. A recap of what we spoke about last week is that we're requesting a total of $4 million over 2 years. It's 2.26 million in 2024 and 1,740,000 in 2025. Habitat's going to be contributing $60,000 of their own money to each of the homes, so a total of $360,000, $240,000 to begin the project. We'll be using at the beginning of each project, $240,000 this year and $120,000 next January. So a reminder, everyone, is that we're building 6 shy listed units to keep us in safe harbor for 2024 and 25. Due to the fact that these houses are shy listed, the cap we can sell them at is the two of them are going to be sold at 227,000, excuse me. 2 at 275,000 and 2 at 231,000. So these things are costing between 650 and 725,000 each to do. So there's a subsidy in order to keep us on that shy list, and that's where we desperately need your help. To remind everyone that we show Habitat, we give a 30-year 0% no down payment loan to each of the families. So the mortgage payments on the first, if you combine all 6 of these homes, is only going to be in the neighborhood of $45,000 a year. So it's a great subsidy needed from the trust, and we're excited that we can start the lottery. Joe would start the lottery this as soon as we get the EOHLC recommendation. It would be in probably May or June of this year. So if there's any particular questions, I think we've given you the breakdown of the construction cost for each of the units in the pack, and the timing, which is necessary to start these projects. We're starting them tomorrow. It will be the clearing of the land, and Friday will be the stumping, etc. So we have costs are accelerating over the next 3 months, where we'll be doing 4 of the foundations because of the rules, we have 18-month start to finish on these homes that we're going to be doing for this year. We have to complete them within 18 months of pulling the building permit. So that's where we're starting with foundation permits, which was, if your help with any conversation with the EOHC would be helpful to get that rescinded and give us a little more time. And then we'll pull the building permits for the duplex coming in January. And hopefully all these homes will be done by the end of 25 into early 26. Four certainly will be done in the next 18 months.
It's good news. Penny.
Yeah, just a question of interest. Are these on town water?
Yes. And
Okay,
so when they did this, to save us a huge cost. With Benjamin Drive, we had to bring in water and sewer, which cost us about $250,000 of Habitat's funds. This is already stubbed to the curb when they did Waite Drive back. So this is the whole sewer and the connection costs are going to be less.
That's great. I was just confirm. Yeah, I think I knew that. I wanted to confirm it though. Thank you.
That's good. Tom Dixon.
Jerry, are all these units 80% AMI?
80% or less. The lotteries will be 80% or less, all of them. And in the past, Joe's led the lotteries, but they're probably on average 60%.
Yeah, just exactly right. To be shy listed, you have to be 80% AMI or less. That's the, I guess, the qualifying level. The pricing level, without going into the arcana, is 60% AMI to set the actual dollar price. And that's basically done so that you have a broader, an ability to accept a broader range of applicants, people that are, anywhere probably from 50% AMI right up to the 80% AMI limit. In our history is that I think most of the Habitat homeowners on Nantucket have been in the 60 to 70% AMI sort of level.
And we've asked the UHLC for a municipal preference on this. So for 2 of the units to go to town employees. Just for a historical fact, I think I mentioned last time, is that I think 6 or 7 of our 16 units have gone to municipal employees by chance.
Great. Thank you, Jerry. Meg.
Thanks, Rima. How many families have you housed since 2019?
16.
No, since the start has been 16. Since 2019, we did 2 at Beachgrass, 2 at Richmond, 1 at Waite, 2 at Richmond, 3 at Benjamin. So that is 6 since 19. So we've done 6 in the past 4 years, and we did 16 in the last 20 years. So we've picked up the pace just a bit.
That's amazing. I just want to commend you for all the work that you do in housing year-rounders at this income level and getting people into homes. I know the ones over here off of My Comet Road are just so amazing, and I appreciate what you're doing. I think this is super cost effective for us, and it's putting families in homes. So I appreciate your proposal.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions?
I had a quick question. I know the number moves, but what is 80% AMI right now?
Joe?
I'm going from memory here, Shelley. I think it's around 97,000.
It's 108,000 right now. AMI is 136.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Penny.
For a family of 4.
Right.
Family of 4.
So it's lower for a single or a double? Or higher? Penny?
I am not sure what the habitat requirements are. It's different with the covenant program than it is.
Yeah, we price them at for a family of 4. The limit is 80% AMI for a family of 4. If you look at the HUD data, they do calculate different numbers for families of 1, 2, 3, 4, up to bigger numbers. But our pricing and development is sort of set right on the family of 4.
Thanks.
Give you an idea, the last lottery we had 60 for the 3 homes in Benjamin, 60 families applied, 28 or 29 Joe made the credit requirements. And it's also based on need. So you'll be filling houses. Some of these are now 3-bedroom, others are 2. You're trying to fill them with people who this is their first house, and also they have a strict deed, and you have to be a green card, and you have to be the ability to put in 350 hours of service into the build of the house and be long-term residents.
All right. Just want to thank you, Penny. You might need to jump in anytime my bad Wi-Fi goes out or my dogs go crazy. So I want to recognize Vicky and then Christy.
I just want to add for the trust's benefit that Habitat is is going to be filing their LAU application with the select board for their review and approval. And my understanding is that they submitted all of the documents already that are needed, and then this can go to EOHLC for their review and approval as well. And I appreciate the fact that they have gotten everything in as quickly as they have. You know, I think they're doing a great job in as far as complying with the town's requirements to get these things done.
Great. Christy.
Thank you. I was just gonna echo what Vicky said and kind of note to everybody that Habitat, previously their units weren't eligible for the SHI list, and they've really done a lot of great work to get their units eligible and working with the town and working with EOHLC. And so just Benjamin Drive was that first time that we had those units eligible, and that these units moving forward will be. And Jerry mentioned the municipal preference is something that we're advocating for at EOHLC, and Habitat has written letters of support to help move this effort along. So they've been really great partners with the town.
Wonderful. Penny.
Yeah, at the risk of pointing out the obvious, we've focused a lot on rental housing, and Habitat is the perfect partner for the trust in creating ownership opportunities. And I just think that needs to be pointed out. Thank you.
Thanks, Penny. Meg.
If I may, I'd like to make a motion to approve the $4 million request.
Great. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, seconded by Penny by roll call. Meg Browers.
Aye.
Tom Dixon.
Aye.
Penny Dye.
Aye.
Chantal Murphy.
Aye.
And I'm an aye. Great. Okay, so we're going to move on to the LAU application.
Thank you very much.
Her hand up.
Yeah, so Christy, can you explain what Vicky will explain what we need to do here if this is an action that we need to take on the LAU.
Yes, before we jump to that, I think Vicky has a comment on the funding.
Right. I just wanted to add that there'll be a grant agreement that needs to be prepared and executed, and so I will commence getting that done and having it presented to Habitat's attorney for his review, and then get it back for signature here as well.
Okay, good. All right.
And then it will go on the next select board agenda to approve.
Correct.
As well.
Okay, good. So we won't be signing anything until the select board goes over it.
I know this LAU application is coming up for review at their February 7th meeting next week. So,
all right.
I mean, if I could interrupt here, Madam Chair.
Yes, Joe.
I know that Christy, I'm not looking at the materials for your agenda. I did supply Christy and Vicky with copies of our LAU application. Yes. So, and there is a place on it's about 6 or 7 pages in that we do need a signature from either you as vice chair or Brian as chair, supporting the LAU application. So that is something that I would hope we would get out of this meeting, and it leads into the select board meeting. Is that right, Vicky?
So if you would like to get that vote today, the trust can certainly make a motion to approve of the LAU application and its signature, and authorize Brian Sullivan as the chair or you as vice chair, Rima, to sign on behalf of the trust.
All right.
I appreciate it. Just it's a, you know, checking the box so that our application is completed. It's only about that thick, so.
Exactly. All right, is there a motion to authorize the chair, vice chair to sign?
Can I just add one thing to that? For
Okay.
whoever makes the motion to include that, whether the chair or vice chair can also sign future documents related to the LAU. There might be a
Okay.
few things that come back from the OHLC.
Right. So it would be
Good point.
authorization for chair or vice chair to sign the LAU and any subsequent documents required for this application.
I'll make that motion. Do I have to say
Okay.
it again?
Okay. No, I think you can just say so moved because I
So
said motion.
Second.
Okay, seconded by Tom, by roll call. Tom Dixon,
Aye.
Meg Browers,
Aye.
Penny Dye,
Aye.
Chantal Blas Murphy,
Aye.
and I'm an aye. Great. You guys are on your way.
Thank
Very
you,
exciting.
Madam Chair. Will the funding coincide at the select board meeting with the LAU application, so that will start in a week's time? Is that right,
Christy?
Christy?
Yes, so
Okay.
both items are on the February 7th agenda for the select board.
Perfect. Thank you very much, and thank you all for
Great.
your help.
Yeah, thank you all very, very much.
Welcome.
Great. All right. So this takes us past Richmond temporarily and on to item 8, the quarterly update for the select board. We received copies of that quarterly report and I'm going to find it. Here it is. Probably a screen share would be a good idea at this point. Christy, if you can, just in case everyone hasn't seen it.
So to give everybody a little bit of background, part of the discussion at the Housing Summit, and kind of some of my onboarding with Tucker was trying to find ways to communicate more with what the trust is doing with the community. And we saw that the Coastal Resiliency Advisory Committee has started to do quarterly updates to the select board and thought we'd follow that model. So what they do is every quarter report back on the last 3 months and basically any significant developments, you know, how they're working on their Coastal Resiliency Advisory Plan, and has a chance to talk to the select board kind of about different initiatives or requests. And so I kind of wanted to jumpstart this, and I'm on the February 7th agenda, which is going to be packed full of all housing things for the select board. And so I kind of went through all of the agendas from the last 3 months and thought I would give kind of trust meeting updates, but then also touch base on just kind of where we stand in terms of construction and land acquisition, and running through where we are in funding now that we kind of have a more updated spreadsheet.
Great.
So I put together kind of the highlights, and then I didn't know if there was any anything else that the board wanted me to present to the select board, or anything that you thought I was missing from this report.
Well, I think it's pretty thorough, and I entertain any questions or comments from the board. And again, since we're screen sharing, if I can't see you, just shout out.
Oh, okay, it's me again.
Penny.
Yeah, just quickly, Libby Gibson, we had talked also about utilizing the town manager's newsletter, and I mentioned it to her, and she's very open to doing that, would welcome any kind of supporting documentation that she could link to. Thank you.
That's great. Good.
Thank you.
Okay. Christy, Meg.
Thank you, Rima. Is there any kind of a plan for an internal communication plan for the housing office in terms of town meeting, anything we need public support for, making sure people are more informed than they've been in years past, as we look for additional funding? anything that I could help with. And I also wanted to ask if you thought that that spreadsheet that I had shared with you after the strategy session would be helpful for either internally or with the trust or with the select board, perhaps formatted to your specifications, because I told you that was just a super duper rough draft back of the napkin. But I think something that tracks where our projects are at in terms of land acquisition or, you know, construction and all the little steps in between to show the progress we're making would be a really helpful tool to include in communications to the community.
Through your chair.
You don't have to, I mean, you don't have to respond to that necessarily, just more like a thought for you.
Right.
So Alice and I actually have a meeting tomorrow with the communications department to talk about kind of housing newsletters, but on that, you know, other things, we have quite a few ideas on how to update our website. And so part of that is kind of going through what we need for town meeting, so we can report back to the trust as to any additional needs. But this year we don't have, you know, a standalone article. We will be asking for bonding authority. And so that's something that we're going to be going to FinCom and making sure that we have an updated presentation. You know, Tucker gave a great one a few years ago as to where we stood, and making sure that we have all the details and graphics for that.
Right. Yeah, and we should probably put communications update on the agenda for next meeting, so you can report back to what's happening with everybody, and we can talk about that. Sounds good.
Okay.
All right. No, this is great, and again, very thorough. I'm so pleased with all the thoroughness in the documents so far, you know, lots of information, which is just the best. Good. So, any other comments on the report to the select board? Do we need to do anything, you know, approve your draft or anything?
No, it was just a chance if the trust saw anything that you wanted me to add to the board, and just to show you kind of that template is just kind of the outline. I'll put together, you know, a PowerPoint with pictures for the select board, but we'll touch on all of those points. And then moving forward, this will be a standing thing for the select board. Another idea that Libby had is the quarterly, kind of like how the sewer and water have their budget reports, that we would have kind of a affordable housing trust report quarterly, so we can do kind of what we just did with reviewing funding, but have that open to the community as well.
Sounds wonderful. Tom Dixon.
Yeah, Madam Chair, through you to Christy. Christy, I think that's great. I think the select board will be very receptive of a quarterly report. And one tiny minor little suggestion: when you do that summary and the PowerPoint, may be forwarded along to the chairs of the top committees so they can disseminate as necessary if you think appropriate, because I think that's something that Denise and Capcom and et cetera would like to see.
Okay. Item 9, other business. Our next meeting is February 20th, unless we have some pressing need for a special. You never know. And item 10, are there any board comments? All right, seeing none. I would.
Meg has a
Meg,
comment.
there. I always look down and then Meg. Go ahead, Meg.
Thanks so much. Madam Chair, do you have a sense of when we will take the next step with Judy and what the status is there on the year-round deed restriction program? I know it has been kicked off or excluded from the agenda for the last couple of meetings, and I'm worried that it's getting lost in the shuffle.
I'll go to Christy for that.
So Judy's actually been really sick since December, and so she's had to cancel the last few attendance. So we took her off this meeting because she's still I think this is her first week back in the office. But then she'll be on the February 20th meeting.
And is there anything that we need to be reviewing or refreshing in the meantime prior to the next meeting, or anything that Vicky can work on in the meantime?
I'll touch base with Judy. Actually, I have a couple emails from her at the moment, so I'll see if there's anything and I'll coordinate with Vicky if needed.
Yeah, and you know, we have our legislation was all drafted and set, right, Vicky, for town meeting. So we got that chunk.
That article has been approved in the warrant, yes. So that will be there at least to at least get the vote for the restriction.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, so I would entertain a motion to go into a executive session, but to then reconvene back into the regular session when we're finished. So anyone who has that language, because I don't.
Yeah, I'm happy to do it, Madam Chair, if you want. But I have a question before I do this, which is, do we use the same link to come back to regular?
Yes, we'll be back.
But don't delete your links.
Yeah, don't
Wait,
delete.
I'll make a motion that we temporarily adjourn this meeting to be continued after our executive session, that we go into executive session to consider the purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property where an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the negotiating position of our public body.
All right, and a second?
Second.
Second from Meg by roll call. Meg Browers,
Aye.
Tom Dixon,
Aye.
Penny Dye,
Aye.
Chantal Blas Murphy,
Aye.
and I'm an aye. So we'll see you on the other side. Thank you. Okay, this is Rima Sherry, the Vice Chair of the Affordable Housing Trust, reconvening open session for the meeting of January 30th, 2024. Okay, and we are here to take action on Richmond's ask for a loan of $3.1 million. And as per some of our discussion, I would say that the motion would be to approve the loan of $1.3 million with the
3.1.
3.1.
3.1. Isn't that what I said? I meant to say that. With the condition that all the homes are constructed and conveyed by December 31st of 2024. Also pending further good faith negotiation on related matters. The term of the loan would be 18 months, and that it would be the subject to the final satisfaction of the housing director, the finance director, and town council. How's that, Vicky? Okay, you're muted.
That's great.
Okay, so is anyone willing to make that motion?
So move, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Tom, and a second.
I'll second.
Okay, seconded by Meg by roll call. Tom Dixon,
Aye.
Meg Browers,
Aye.
Penny Dye,
Aye.
and I'm an aye. All right. So, good.
So I'll work with getting this on the February 7th agenda for the select board.
Okay, great.
And then once approved, I'll start working with Richmond to get documents ready.
All right, great. All right. Tucker, anything to add?
I can't wait to be through COVID.
Oh, again. My God. All right. Well, are we ready to officially adjourn?
Motion to adjourn, Madam Chair.
Second.
Okay. Second. Okay, by roll call, Tom Dixon,
Aye.
Penny Dye,
Aye.
Meg Browers,
Aye.
and I'm an aye. See you next time. Thank you, everyone, for all your diligent work.
Yeah, thank you all for your effort and moving this forward. We'll get to work.
Okay.
Appreciate your assistance. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Let me know when I need to sign anything, if Brian's away.
Okay, I will.
Okay, cool.
Thanks a lot, Rima. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Christy. Good job.
Thank you.